I actually don't know what the heck happened there, guys. Got no idea. Uh, there's someone. I think the FA must be behind that again with that technology, mate. But obviously, good warm welcome to you all. But before we get in, do you know what? This evening, guys. I think we got a little bit of an announcement, or we got a little bit of a speech to make. So let's go ahead with it. So, guys, good evening to all you North London gooners out there. Now, before we start the show, I just want to take a moment. Can we talk about that stadium announcement before kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? You know the one. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the home of football. The echo, the theatre, the fake calm authority. You think they were about to witness a history yesterday, the way they were going on, and they did, but just not the kind they were hoping for, because apparently we were nervous, apparently we were worried, and apparently Arsenal weren't ready for the atmosphere. Meanwhile, our players walked out like it was a training session at London Colney, calm, focused, locked in, and in 90 minutes later, 4-1 up, a fire evacuation, 3/4 of the stadium, all that booming confidence over the Mount Mike, only for the loudest sound in that stadium to be the away end celebrating again and again and again 4 years in a row. That's right. We've gone to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the last 4 seasons and picked up 3 points every time. That pre-match speech aged like stale milk. This is the North Bank Summit show. We're breaking down the mentality, the dominance, the passion, and how Mikel Arteta sent his team out ice cold while the noise merchants melted. Smuggery impending tonight, statements incoming. Let the show commence. There you go, guys. There you go. Absolute brilliant day yesterday. I've got to be honest with you, right? They fucking deserved every ounce of that beating that they got. Like, who the hell do they think they are? Actually, who the hell do they think they are? They're sitting literally 16th, 17th in the league table. They've just sacked their manager. They brought a guy in from Italy who's got not a Scooby-Dooby-Doo, who literally, if you look at his record at Juventus, is absolutely abysmal. And they thought they were going to come and send us home. I'm going to go to you first, Sam. What's your thoughts on that one, mate?
It's all right. Lincoln will be beating them next year anyway, so we'll be fine.
Well, you'll get to see them next year, won't you?
Yeah, we'll be beating them. So it could beat them on, well, no, it would be only one front, but it would just make it perfect, wouldn't it? It would just really make it perfect. If I got to see them versus Lincoln and they're in the same league.
Mate, it'd be brilliant. And look, there's a chance now, isn't there? There's a big chance that this could happen.
100%. This, if they didn't know they were shit before, they certainly know it now, don't they? So, yeah, it's one of those ones. It's out of all the games that they could pick, it's the one they don't want to lose in. And they didn't just get beat, they got absolutely battered. So it leaves their confidence completely shot, doesn't it? And I love every minute of it.
Absolutely. I'm going to go to George first before I introduce Brooksy. George, the comeback's on today. Georgie boy is back.
He's alive.
Oh man, I felt like Rafiki out of Lion King when he's like he's alive. Like I'm back. Yeah, mate. It's good to be back. I think there was only one game that was going to bring me back, but certain striker of mine has been absolutely slated from the start of the season. Just a championship striker, Liam. He don't score. Yeah. So I've got a lot to say about it. Certain Victor Gyökeres. So
it's very sexy.
Yeah, I said it in WhatsApp groups, Brooksy. I got slated for that, didn't I? So
yeah.
And yourself, Mr. Brooks. I know you had a bit of a tough day today, but I bet there was some celebrating in your household last night. How's your brother, by the way?
No, there was. I was very excited. It's funny. I'm messaging him about it. I completely forgot. I forgot about him. You know, it's not important. About your cock. So, I better message to see how he is. Yeah, that was funny. I mean, I think he's actually getting quite by. They might get relegated, which, mate, honestly, you try not to get carried away because, you know, things happen. But what could happen at the end of this? I mean, I was saying to Sarah last night, I have to retire from football. But say we win all these trophies and they get relegated, It's never going to get any
I
better.
said that. There's nothing else for us to do.
It,
It's, it's like Jay out the in-betweeners completely, mate. It's all done.
it made me laugh yesterday because I was at a pub quiz in Lincoln and I thought I'll be the only one that puts a team name. I think I put it wouldn't let me have what do you think of shit. So it was I picked 4-1. 4-1 your shit, North London is red. That's what I picked. But then there was like 4 other team names. It was all taking the piss. And I genuinely thought I'd be the only one. It was dead. It was completely dead. But there was 4 other teams taking the piss as well. And I was like, this is just perfect.
Absolutely brilliant.
No one
Before we
likes
start the
Spurs.
show, just to do a warm welcome into say hello to a few people. Good evening to Margaret, who's on. Good to see you on the show. Mr. Barwick's on the show. Good evening to you as well, sir. Hope you're well. Who else? We've got Andrew Marritt's on the show. Good evening, sir. Good evening to Mr. Pete G himself, Gold Griffin. Good evening to you, mate. Good evening to Catherine. Good to see you on. Mr. Morgan's in the house. Good evening, mate. The Ivan Tony lovers are everywhere.
He missed a penalty the other
Yeah,
day.
he did miss a penalty, didn't he?
Yeah.
Good evening to Ryan, who's in the house as well, and good evening to Laura as well. Hello, you bunch of smug bastards.
Oh,
Absolutely right there. Good evening to Jenny.
right.
Good to see you on. Jason Cross is in the house, so good evening to you, sir. Hope you're okay. Who else we got on? Can you see my chat? Yes, we can see your chat. You definitely can see your chat now. And good evening to Ninny, who's in the house as well. So good evening to everyone.
Go on.
Right. So we're going to go straight in. And obviously, what I'm going to do first, we're going to kind of discuss, obviously, the fallout of the Wolves game first before we go into this game, because I ain't going to go too much into it because I've had too much time to kind of mourn that performance. But I want to kind of just get your thoughts in terms of the aftermath of it, because one of the things that I did feel coming out of this performance was actually the only positive I could take from it was actually that the boys would know now they would have to put in an incredible performance going into the Tottenham game after that late choker up at Wolves. And look, that performance probably been a performance I've seen over the years, if I'm being totally honest. A cold winter's night up north. Well, I wouldn't say it's up north, is it? What Wolves is in Midlands, do you know what I mean? Snow, horrible weather, and then we come a cropper in the last few minutes. It actually reminded me of a Liverpool game years and years ago when Joe Allen scored in the 90th minute. It was exactly that sort of game with the weather conditions and everything. But could this be? And I'm going to go to you first on this, George. Could this be like a turning point of our season? And could it be the wake-up call that not just the players needed, but the management team?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Like, obviously, we was all gutted after that game, but I think if we're being truthfully honest, like, them performances have been there probably since Sunderland away, haven't they? And we've kind of got through, but this time our luck ran out. So I think that was probably the kick up the arse that they needed. Like, I think you just listened to what a couple of the players said, like obviously like Declan Rice and a couple others, like even Saka, to be honest. Like, they know that under Arteta, that's not the level of what they want to be at. So they know that them sort of games are the ones that we've notoriously slipped up again. When it was 2-1, mate, I was like, because I was at the women's game, I was like, I need another one here, and everyone was like, no, they don't. I was like, I'm blind, and I've seen this film before, like, and I don't like it. But yeah, I just think, like, obviously after the game, the talk coming out of the game, it was really weird. I was like, going into Tottenham, I was nervous just because of how we were playing. And then I listened to the game kick off, and I was like, no, we're fine. We're fine here. Like, the way Tottenham are going, mate, Peterborough will be playing them soon, so I won't be too worried. But yeah, I'd say it was probably the next best thing than going on a trip to Dubai, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And just going to go to you, Sam, on this, obviously following up from George. Obviously, when we discussed that, the talk coming out of the game was obviously around what we need to do and the expectations under Mikel Arteta. But one of the most disappointing things for me on Wednesday, and it was interesting. Mikel's comments last night was around Gyökeres in terms of how angry he was that he wasn't selected on Wednesday. And I know Saka scored and he played in a number 10 role against Wolves, but for me, Bukayo Saka's position is never going to be attacking centre midfield in this team. Do you know what I mean? Because when you start looking at the talents that we've got in terms of Havertz, Eze, and Odegaard, Saka's rightful position is right wing. So I actually don't blame Eze for being pissed off Wednesday because I thought he had quite a good game prior to that in the cup against Wigan, and I thought you could tell that he was getting his confidence back. Obviously, 2 incredible assists that he provided that day, and I felt that he should have started on Wednesday. So him coming into the fray yesterday, that was the response you needed from a player that was not happy about not being picked.
Yeah, I think it's a tricky one in this squad, isn't it? When you've got a squad that's so good, it's that kind of knowing that you're not going to play every week, but your time's going to come soon enough. So I actually don't think it's great because you've got to fight for your players, haven't you? And apart from obviously the Tottenham game that he had the hat-trick and stuff where he paid back his transfer fee just in one game, he hasn't been fantastic. He's shown us moments where he's looked to be fantastic. He certainly showed that again yesterday, but I think a lot of the time he has kind of faded into the shadows a little bit. So yeah, I think he's got right to be annoyed at Saka playing in the position that he would play. I think he's got total he's got reason for that to happen, but I think you've just got to fight for your place and use it as motivation, haven't you, to just get better and be better all the time. I think that's what having a squad like this demands from every single person, knowing that every single person's position isn't safe and that if they're off for a game or off for a couple of games, there's going to be someone step in now where there hasn't been over the last couple of years. So, yeah, I don't think we can be having players throwing paddy fits, to be honest. But, yeah, it kind of is what it is at the same time.
I'm pretty much happy that players getting pissed off. I'm being totally honest. I want players to be angry. I want players to be really disappointed. I want them to be really cheesed off when they're not being planned because actually I think it shows they care. I'm like you. I do think he's got a right to be disappointed with that because inadvertently that Saka's not going to play that position probably again this season. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's the reality of the selection for me was that Saka's not going to play that position. Now look, that ain't what cost us the game at Wolves whatsoever. For me, it was more around obviously how we approached that second half of that game, especially when the second went in. But I think looking at the performance that he has produced over the last week or two, I do see the positive signs occurring again. And this is a player who actually is renowned in terms of peaking at when spring kicks around the corner. So going over to you, John, obviously that's what we're hoping really now, isn't it? Because last year under obviously Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace, he had an incredible end of the season. And if he could repeat that kind of performance going into the back end of this season, that would give us a massive opportunity, wouldn't it, to lift up some major honours.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you could just see him during the game and after the game, the big old smile he had on his face, the confidence. It was loving life, you know. Obviously, World Cup year, he's got to play like that to get into the World Cup squad as well, which is a massive incentive for him. That's brilliant. Absolutely superb. We know he's capable of it. That's why people like myself have been moaning in the last few weeks because there are games where he'd be playing and it just seems to just drifting by. I don't know if that's, you know, he's kind of like Mesut Ozil and like his body language where he just seems to not float about. But because he's not running around, so that other players not pressing the ball, doing this and that, it kind of gets the impression sometimes that he's not trying, which obviously isn't the case. But then you see the talent he has yesterday and how good he was. He was just popping up here, there and everywhere. You know, they had a great time. I mean, the amount of space he was getting. He was even popping up on the left wing, second half. Him and Saka linking up really well. That's one of the first times I've really seen them. And Victor as well. They're all absolutely loving life. They absolutely destroyed him. And I'll tell you something as well, Saka, he shouldn't be number 10 ever because he's such a wonderful right winger. And he proved that yesterday because he was sensational. Destroyed Jed Spence, made him look like that pub player that he is. He should have been nowhere near the fucking England squad. He's absolute dog shit. And Saka absolutely destroyed him. That was lovely.
Yeah, it was lovely. Very, very lovely to see Saka back out there doing his thing. Just obviously going on to the selection yesterday, George, as well. Obviously, Kai Havertz. We was hoping he would be back, but obviously he wasn't back. But I suppose the plus is now that obviously we won the game, and obviously it's another game where actually we can kind of hope that he gets the full recovery that he can get to obviously support us with the back end of the season. How do you see this going in terms of the selection with Kai Havertz? Because for me, I've seen him, and I'm going to throw something out there to you. I'm really not impressed, and I'm telling you now, I was not impressed yesterday with Leandro Trossard whatsoever. I thought he was absolutely appalling. I don't like to slate a player, but I thought he was absolutely abysmal yesterday. In terms of that, we won 4-1. I thought his performance was outrageously poor. Honestly, he did get a little bit better as the game got later in, and I'd say a little bit better. But does this actually open up? John's obviously hit a point here. Does this open up potentially a spot for Eze to potentially go back into that left wing position? Because I'm just thinking we've got obviously Kai Havertz coming back in as well, and he's another player who, for me, I want him in the team and push him right up there alongside Gyökeres in games. Can someone like Eze play out on the left?
I think you can. I think we've seen it. I don't think it works when it's Erdegaard in the 10 role, if I'm honest. But yeah, I imagine obviously you've got Kai. Obviously, it was nice for us to rest him against teams battling to stay up. But I think I was quite impressed with Havertz when he was playing with the partnership he was developing with Gyökeres before he stepped out of the team this time. So, but there's no reason why Eze can't. And I just think all the rubbish when they say, "Oh, he doesn't track back, he don't defend." Well, he does. So I don't know what people are watching because he does that. To be honest, mate, Trossard, I was a bit annoyed. I was still annoyed with him from Wednesday. So I think we hold our hands up. He's played some really, really nice football this season, but last couple of games, I think maybe it's time for him to step out. And who would you rather have there? I think Eze deserves to at least get a run in the team to see what he can offer as well. I was glad he played against Spurs because I think obviously Spurs, they offer a lot of space, and Eze kind of crucifies their midfield and their defence because they don't know how to deal. Well, yeah, they don't know how to deal with Eze because he scored against them 5 times this season. So Eze has scored more goals than Tottenham have this season against us. So that's just on his own. So and I like Eze. I think he's one of those players, Liam, that he can play on the 10, he can play on the left. Imagine having a front line of, say, Havertz, Saka, Gyökeres and Eze. It's a bit frightening, isn't it? If you're one or the other. And I think we play more fluid when we're like that.
Yeah, I do think there's an interesting selection there, and my concern is obviously first is getting Kai Havertz fit first and foremost.
Yeah.
But I do think that he's a massive, massive ingredient. I think definitely going into the running, but also the Champions League. I just don't think teams want to play against him. And look, I think. Do I agree that Submindi and Rice should play every game? I've been quite vocal on it. No, I don't.
No.
But I do see that actually that's probably going to happen between now and the end of the season for the majority of games. So it's how you kind of accommodate it. But I think first and foremost, it all depends if Kai Havertz can stay fit. And for us to have a really good chance of obviously seeing the Premier League through or competing at the top end of the Champions League, I just feel that you need a big player like that. He's done it. He's got the T-shirt. He scored in the Champions League final for Chelsea, which won him it. So you just know that he can pop up in the crucial moments, like he did in the 96th minute against Chelsea the other week. I know it put the icing on the cake, but look at the composure. Look what he did. And he proves that he's a good player for the big game. So for me, he's a massive piece. But Eze challenging him in that role will be good. Odegaard's coming back. I actually really think Odegaard looks better when he comes on in games and sees games out.
Yeah, I don't
think
like him starting. I just get really frustrated with him when he starts.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I don't think he's in any rhythm whatsoever, and I think that's a key piece of Odegaard. He needs to be in rhythm. I don't think he's fully fit, obviously, because he hasn't played the minutes. But I do. What I will say about Odegaard is when he come on the last 10, 15 minutes, I thought, you know what, we'll see this game out really nice and comfortably now because actually he will slow the game down. And look, he got the assist for the 4th goal. He did the same thing at Leeds. He got the assist for the 4th goal. So he is proving that actually bring on last 10, 15, 20 minutes, he will see the game out. And I know it's harsh, but that's what I see his role as at the moment, just because he's not in form. And actually, I think there's better players at this moment of time to kind of take that
That's what the best teams do, Liam, as well. Like if we're comparing, like if you do look at City, like I watched that City game on Saturday. I think they brought Foden on in like 2 or 3 minutes. So what I mean with that is that you have your bigger name players that you can bring on at different times in the game. Like so, like if Erdegaard for a couple of games, like say Sunday, he comes on and sets up the winner in the last 10, 15 minutes. He's done his job, hasn't
he? Yeah, oh yeah, of course he's done his job. And look, I think the game's changing as well. Like more physicality again. Like you see in midfielders, I think we're seeing a dying breed in terms of the attacking centre midfielders. Definitely the players like Phil Foden being able to succeed in there. So maybe that is the case for Odegaard as well. I think as well, like for me, I'm not the biggest fan of Subamendi and Odegaard in the same team, if I'm being totally honest. I think they offer the same, but in different parts of the pitch. Look, Subamendi's much to a higher class, in my opinion. But I think if you've got a Subamendi and Rice, you've got a Kai Havertz in front of them, I think that's more than enough because actually you can push Kai right up to Gyökeres. And at that point, as you see yesterday with the second goal, Eze pulls out the centre-back and that gives Gyökeres the yard to take a touch and then absolutely bury that in the corner. And I've got to say, not sure about you guys, it was very Aubameyang-esque. Do you remember the goal against Tottenham?
I do, yeah. It was a very good
absolute incredible finish. But I just want to go on to him, Sam, with you, Gyökeres, because look, he has had a lot of stick, as George said, this season in terms of the grief that he's had. 15 goals he's got now. I was on the show just 2 weeks ago, and I was saying that I think he can push for 25. Maybe that's a tough ask, but 10 goals. Then you're looking at the amount of games we've got left in the Premier League. We've got a League Cup final. We've still got FA Cup games, and we potentially could have up to 8 or 9 Champions League games. There's still that opportunity. You could get 25 goals, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all gone. I'm really pleased for him because it's all gone really quiet now. And it's really funny because all those people that were running their mouth about, oh, you've wasted your money and all this sort of, they're nowhere to be seen now. So it's really bizarre. Because they were all willing to give us a 6-page essay on why he's not going to be good enough and why this is not going to work. But yeah, over these last couple of weeks, when he's been actually proving those people wrong, they've all been really quiet. So it's a little bit weird, to be honest. And even like the commentators yesterday as well, you could really hear the pain in Gary Neville's voice. Who he has been one of the biggest advocates of like just trying to run into the ground. You could really hear it in his voice when he had to say that's the best game I've seen him play in an Arsenal shirt. You could really hear the pain in his voice because he was like, you know what, I was so wrong there. And I think I think the difference is now, I think we're finding ways now to play with him. Before, I think we were unsure of how to play with him because we hadn't had a striker for so long. I've just got to let my cat out the door. She's going to go mad.
It's all right. I was just thinking as well, like going back to Arteta's comments last night, John, in terms of what he said regarding Eze, and he was saying, and it does make me think if he's bringing the bit up around obviously getting close to Gyökeres, but he goes, I'm starting to learn how to play him. Well, I thought was a really, really interesting comment from Arteta last night.
Yeah, no, it does take certain players, or a lot of players really, time to settle. You know, look at Isak at Liverpool, for example. He still hasn't. Well, I know he's injured now, but you know, for someone that's Premier League proven, he's really found it tough to get going. And obviously, that doesn't get talked about because he's injured. But, Gyökeres cost half the price. And the pressure, let's bang it. Everyone was expecting if Arsenal to sign a striker, he was the last missing piece of the puzzle, which would automatically mean that we would win the league. That's what everyone was saying. That's what you were saying last season. All we need is a striker and we will win the league. So straight away he's come in and everyone's like, oh, well, he's got to score now. Oh, he's got to score a hat-trick in his first couple of games. Oh, he's got to do this. And obviously the longer it was going, everyone was like, oh, I don't know, And then obviously people were picking up on like, oh, Saka hadn't passed him the ball or someone else hadn't. And oh, no, he's put his hands in the air. Oh, it must mean there's a crisis. People are trying to make a story out of it. He's coming from another country. Knows he's split up his girlfriend to come to us. So, it's all a completely different thing. He's expected to hit the ground straight away. Obviously, it's taken a little bit longer than obviously we would have hoped. And as he had injuries, I think Burnley away, he was outstanding that first half. But everyone forgets about that because he got injured. But yes, he was brilliant. That goal was just outstanding, the first one.
Do you feel that sometimes Arteta takes him off too quickly in games, like the Wolves game,
Yes.
for example?
Absolutely. I would leave him on for as long as it takes. End of the day, it's a striker. Gabriel Jesus is good, but Gyökeres is such a beast. You see him yesterday running around, whacking into defenders, making them give the ball away, whack the ball out for a throw-in. Jesus is a wonderful player, but he's not that. He's not your hold-up striker. He can go missing sometimes when he gets a bit physical. Gyökeres is a big, you spend that money for your striker, you expect him to stay on for as long as possible, especially sometimes he takes him off when we need a goal. Yeah, I don't think he helps himself sometimes with that. But I think now, I think it's already been mentioned, the players are finding a way to pass him the ball. And I think they're going to pass it to him more often now because they can see what we're doing, especially that first goal he scored. They're going to go, wow, because, he scored goals for us, but he hasn't hit one like that. Proper, bang, see you later. And if the game had carried on for a bit longer, he probably could have got another one. But this is brilliant for him. I just hope, I know everyone wants Havertz back, and I do, but Victor's the man now. He's the striker. He should be starting more or less every game. Let his confidence build. He's going to score more goals.
I think Havertz is an important part, though, isn't it? Like a really important part, because we've seen that limited time that they've had, but it's almost like that telepathic connection that they've got between. We haven't seen any other player link up with him like that since he came, and obviously it's that short space of time, and I think that's the really important thing. Is he needs the service, doesn't he? And I think that's the person that's going to give it to him the most. I think Eze is starting to build that little bit of an understanding as well,
and Saka as well.
Yeah,
very good yesterday.
But I think that's what's more key about Havertz is that kind of.
Here he is. Go on, Scotty.
But yeah, no, it's interesting because we've never the whole time as well. We've never heard about any of these other strikers, so I'm really pleased they're getting off his back now, and they're actually going. Do you know what? Maybe we were completely wrong. I think they knew they were going to be wrong in the first place. I think they were just doing it for another stick to shake at us, really.
Out of all the signings, he scored the most goals.
Yeah. And that's been for a number of weeks now, hasn't it, as well, for most of them. So it's that, I think that allows him to kind of have confidence as well, because he knows that now if he misses a shot, everybody's not going to be coming onto him like a ton of bricks, because that must be really hard, knowing that you can't do anything wrong, else you're going to get a massive pasting. So I think we'll see an improvement in him now, hopefully as well, now that he knows he's not going to get that if he misses a chance.
Just want to say good evening to Scotty. You had a good weekend, mate. Especially Sunday.
I had a good Sunday, mate.
Where's Liam's Chinese?
Exactly. Where's my Chinese?
Liam, can I just say about Gyökeres?
Yeah, go on.
Right. So, what gets me with this is I thought people would have learned by Kai Havertz. This is Kai Havertz 2.0. I remember when we signed Havertz, the amount of shit he got online. He was rubbish. And the same thing with Gyökeres. Like, I don't know if you guys agreed. What they expected is we spent that money on Gyökeres. He was banning goals left, right, and centre, and they thought, oh, he'll do what Erling Haaland has done for Man City, which was never. I don't think was going to happen. But now we're starting to settle into the way Gyökeres plays. Like, I don't know. I think it was Jim that said it, Liam, about Gyökeres, and said that he's apparently Gyökeres don't have a touch, but like Jim said, he hasn't seen someone have a first touch like that since Van Persie. And I know we don't really talk about that name, but I just think Gyökeres, the amount of abuse he has got is really unjustified. Personally, like, he's not, like they say, oh, we've only brought him in to score against teams near the bottom. Fine, yeah, he scored against Tottenham, he scored against Burnley, he scored against Leeds. But I also remember him grabbing a brace against Atletico Madrid, who are no mugs. I also remember him scoring against Chelsea
And Inter Milan.
and into Milan. Do you know what I mean? So, like, their argument doesn't stick for me. And with having Victor Gyökeres, I might be wrong, but I don't think we've lost many games when he's played.
No, I think a big piece of Victor Gyökeres, I think he's been let down this year in terms of. I'd say the I don't want to say the inability, because it's not an inability, because we know what Saka can produce. Do you know what I mean? I think in injuries are really hard with Saka this year, and I think Saka's become a little bit of a confused player, mate. If I'm being honest here, over the last year, in terms of, I think over the years, right, Saka's been seen as a saviour a little bit, and like, I think when he was like that, and we weren't really expected to achieve much, I think, look, for me, he deserves his contract, because what he did for us in 2020, 2021, if I'm being totally honest, this is a kid alongside Emil Smith Rowe pulled us out of the dark ages, and that should never be forgotten. But I feel as the team's become a little bit more star-studded, I feel Saka feels that he's got to do a lot more, and I feel that he's kind of lost his game a little bit over it. And then I think what we see at the start of the season, and Chelsea's probably the main game at Stamford Bridge, was that he wanted to be that guy to get the win, and he was doing it at all costs, and it was preventing the team more than obviously supporting the team. But I felt yesterday, I still don't think that's nowhere near Saka's best performance, by the way. I don't. But I started to see the old Saka coming back in yesterday's performance, and I started to see the hunger and maybe the confidence again. And look, I think we need Saka back in that right wing position. We definitely need him back to his absolute best if we're going to win this league, in my opinion. And that's what we are going to need over the next few months, is for Saka to regain his form. And I feel if he can regain his form and build his relationship with Gyökeres, it only helps them both out in the long term. Now, we haven't really seen much between the pair, apart from the goal against Inter Milan. But I do think that is a relationship that does need blossoming. But I think Kai Havertz is key to that, if I'm being totally honest. Because I agree with what Sam says. I think what Kai Havertz does, right, he's a player that you like. He can easily play in a number 9 role. He can easily play in a number 10 role. He can easily play in a number 8 role. So you've got a guy, right, who's basically playing in the number 10 role, but he can easily drop back into the number 8 and do that comfortably. But if Gyökeres gets kind of dragged out or takes the ball out on the left-hand side, you've got someone, Havertz's ability, that can actually play up top and do that job. Now, when you think about that, name me another player who can do that in the whole Premier League. There's not a player out there that you can think of whatsoever that what Havertz can do. And I just think with Havertz, I think he gets the best out of Bukayo Saka, because I think what he will do in certain situations, he will drag players away from him and give him more opportunities. I think he definitely gets more out of Gyökeres, and he definitely basically takes a lot of pressure off him. But I think what else he does is that he's got the ability to hit a ball. Now, I think sometimes with Havertz, his biggest problem is when he has to think and he's in front of goal. I think he misses a lot of chances, and when he has to really think, that's when the Kai Havertz problem is in front of goal. But if you're talking about a player who's probably not got that, he's basically not got that pressure on him because he ain't the actual striker, I think you're going to get quite a lot of golden moments out of Kai Havertz.
I
between
think
now.
he brings out a positive side of Martinelli as well, and because I've seen a couple of games where, like you say, he hits that ball and just like you've heard him shouting at Havertz, shouting at Martinelli, say like just take him on. I can't remember the last time Martinelli took someone on, but I just think like Havertz, what he does is he's like a magician. Like and I think he conducts what that front three do. And if we're looking at saying taking Trossard out, that means you've either got to go with Eze or Martinelli, if we're being honest. So I think Havertz would. I think that's the best way going forward is with Havertz in the 10.
What's your kind of thoughts on it, Brooksy?
Yeah, take it or leave it, really. It's just nice to have options, I think. Yeah, he's a wonderful player. We've got so many players in that team that can play a number of different roles, and it's down to Arteta to make sure he picks the right ones. Like with Saka playing number 10 the other day, I know he scored, but it didn't really work. But then it did work in a way, could it kick Eze out the arse, and he played really well yesterday. It will, yeah, I don't know what he's going to do with Odegaard and Havertz when they're both fully fit. Or Eze, I really don't know.
So look,
I do worry that he's going to keep playing by Supermendy and Odegaard because that's his safe option. And I think I just hope yesterday proves that he can play Eze as well and take the handbrake off slightly. Because, well, since drawing Wolves, we can't really afford to draw many more games because we just got to keep going. But obviously, the games are coming thick and fast. And what I think is very important this week is that they've got a whole week off. No games, no just training, but they might be able to get a couple of days, actually proper days off and rest. And it's going to be vital coming up because obviously after Chelsea, then he's got game after game after game after game. And he's going to have to experiment in a few of them. But the likes of Havertz and Odegaard and that, Norgard needs to get a few more minutes. He should have played against Wolves, in my opinion. You know, yeah, he's got to be very, very clever. I mean, every game's a must win. I think, I don't know if they thought they'd already beaten Wolves. It was very complacent. I don't want to talk about it. But then his team selection was poor, and they're playing Martinelli and Madueke. Yeah, I just don't think he took it as seriously as he should have done.
I think there's some interesting points you've raised there. And I'll try and obviously break a couple of them down. I think with the options, I think he has got a lot of options. I think with the Champions League games coming thick and fast as well, I think that actually, I think there's going to be players that will be better suited to the Champions League than obviously the Premier League. Now, I'll take you back to probably a show with me, you and Andy about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I said, and me and Andy had a bit of a debate because I said to him I was looking at a certain lot of fixtures and he said he was only looking at one ahead. And I said to you at the time, I'm looking at Chelsea, Brighton as that end period for me was that end period of a really, really tricky run. And look, at the time, we didn't have really Wolves in that because we didn't know who was in the league semi-final at that point. And I think this Sunday's game against Chelsea is absolutely key to the title, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think Tottenham's good for the confidence booster. But I do think if you go out and back that up and beat Chelsea, I think that actually we should then go to Brighton and be quite confident in terms of beating them. Now, Sunday's going to be a really hard game because, look, how much we hate Tottenham, we hate Chelsea as much, really, if we're being totally honest. We don't like them. They don't like us. And it's going to be an absolute battle on Sunday. Do I think they're a great team? No, I don't. Do I think they're a good team? I think they're not a bad team, Chelsea. But I think they're nowhere near the level that we are. I think that League Cup semi-final, second leg at the Emirates was more down to us probably managing the game because we didn't need to go out there and get the goal. But this, for me, is a totally different game of football on Sunday. And what we did yesterday, is put down a marker. But what they've done is they've not just put a marker down in terms of, obviously, to the rest of the Premier League. They put a marker down to themselves that actually you can play this way. This is why we've all been frustrated that why are we not getting out our own half? Why are we playing sideways footballs all the time? Why are we going back a lot? Do you know what I mean? Why do we keep recycling? Yesterday from the off, mate, we was at them, pinging them into their own area, a half. They couldn't get out at one point. They had to break the internet, mate, between the two officials. If we're being frankly honest, right? Look, that's tongue in cheek, but That was the only thing
Absolutely.
that was stopping them at that time. Because I'm telling you, we would have scored in the next 5 minutes of that game. Because and it was the first time I've seen it for probably, I'd say, right, since Aston Villa in the second half at the Emirates, in terms of performance. But it's the first time I've seen it properly for a period of time. I want to say 2 years. I want to say like back 2 years ago, we was renowned, Jer. I remember we played Sheffield United, Burnley, we played someone else, and we smashed them 5-6-0 away from home, all of them. And they literally couldn't get out their own penalty box. And this is what this team needs to do. They need to play on the front foot. They need to attack teams, and they've got the capability, as you see yesterday, of so many brilliant players who can score goals at any given point. And what I don't want is to get to the end of the season and lose the title and have that regret that we didn't go for it. That's what I do not want. Like, I don't think I can do with any heartbreak as it is anyway, if I'm being totally honest. I just don't think I can tolerate it, because leading up to yesterday's game was unbearable. It was absolutely unbearable, and I can imagine everyone will say the same. But don't look back at the end of the season with any regrets. You put the marker down yesterday, but you've not just done it against the league, you've done it with yourselves as well. This is how we can play. This is what we did under this not beat around the bush here, right? Yeah, Tottenham are a poor team at the moment, but we still had to go into their backyard, 60,000 of their supporters, right, and perform that way. Man City didn't go and beat them 4-1. Man City didn't go and beat them 4-1. And this is what frustrates me. We are the best team in the league. When you look at individual performance, we are the best team. But we keep having these absolute ridiculous moments, and we've probably got one of them moments left in us, I think, and then it's done. Do you know what I mean? And it's not even guaranteed we got them win us. I still think that we need to go to Man City, whether we need to win there or not. I think we need to do it to lay the statement down that we are the best fucking team in this league. I don't want to go there for a draw. I want to go there and beat them in their own backyard. And I think, going to go to you, George, but I do think, right, when I watched that performance yesterday, and I've watched Man City over the months, right, this is what frustrates me the most, because I know that we've got more than them right at this moment in time, and if we utilise our tools properly, we will win the league.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think obviously where we've dropped points, obviously they're frustrating moments, but it just seems to be that, I don't know if it's an Arteta thing or a player thing. It's probably a bit of both, to be honest. I think he still has PTSD from the other year when when we was battering everyone, and then was it Saliba got injured or something, or that season. I think he's been scared to lose, but in fact it's made us worse. But the one thing I will say on a positive spin is this ain't the same Man City team that we've seen in the last few years.
Agreed.
Like they were very, very lucky against a really tired Newcastle team. And they took their best forward off in Anthony Gordon. Why they done that, I don't know. But I'm not saying I am saying it actually. I don't see Man City winning the rest of their games. And so I see them slipping up. But we've had enough, like Brooksy said, we've had enough slip ups now. Just need to go to Chelsea, win that, and yeah, mate, it breeds mentality, doesn't it? Like you go to the Etihad, why not go and win? Like that's what champions do, don't they? So, I just think you need to. It's that mentality. Arteta knows this group of players can do what we all believe they can do, and it. You don't, like you said, Liam, you don't want to be looking back thinking, oh, well, if we just push that game a little bit harder. I think I tried to look at it, mate. Like, obviously, the Wolves game was not good enough. We all know that. But then only a matter of a few days later, Chelsea drew 1-1 with Burnley. So, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying Chelsea are on our level. I'm not saying that at all. But I think people forget Man City have still got to go to Brentford. So that won't be an easy game. So, and I just think a lot of teams are taking a lot of points off of each other. So, like you say, you just do it block by block. You win those games that we've got coming up. I think if we're still 5 points clear or 4 or 5 points clear going into the Etihad and we don't lose, then it is in our hands.
I think. Look, I think the key games are obviously for us. Chelsea, they got Chelsea away, which is a key game. I think their Brentford games at home, to be fair, but I still think that's really our game for Man City. And actually, Man City got Leeds this weekend, 5:30.
And that's not
Under
that's
the
not
light
easy.
start. No, we were
That's
lucky
not
we played them
easy,
at 3
but-
o'clock.
They need to stay up, Leeds. So
And we're still waiting for the Rodri decision, so you would expect some kind
you're
of
waiting a long time for that.
Yeah, you always do. But I do think there will be a
3 years time.
I do think there'll be a suspension on that one. I think there has to be a suspension on that one. You can't be coming up there
No, it's gotta be,
getting away with it. So I think there will be a suspension. So ideally, before the weekend would be ideal. But just going to go over to you, Sam, because talking Man City, and are you confident that they can win all their games, or are you like George? You feel that they're like not the team in the past with the De Bruyne's, Gundogan's, and co. And do you think that there are some slip ups in that team?
I think we're worrying too much about what they're doing, to be honest. I think we just need to go out and win our games. It's quite simple, isn't it? If we go out and win all of our games, because I think that's what we've got to do now. I don't think there's room for us to drop any more points if we seriously are thinking about doing this. And I think yesterday showed, I think you spoke about it as well. I think yesterday it showed what we didn't do against Wolves. We kind of thought, right, we're 2-0 up now, the game's finished. And it wouldn't have taken like a rocket scientist to see it wasn't, because we weren't up to it. So I think we showed everything that we can do when we actually go, right, I'm going to take the game to the other team now. I don't think we did that against Wolves. And I think, like you say as well, it was that wake-up call. If we have another game like this, then we ain't going to be in the driving seat anymore. So it's that kind of... I think that's what we've got to focus on. I think if you look at other teams and what they're doing too much, you can almost lose sight of what it is that you're doing in some aspects as well. So it's that kind of, right, tunnel vision. We need to win every single game now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like we do have to concentrate ourselves first and foremost. I think it is a little bit difficult though with when you start looking at when the games are played. And I think this has a big impact. Like Leeds play first Saturday with Man City, so you are focusing. You're not actually focusing on yourself because actually you're focusing on that game because actually you're not playing till Sunday. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? Like, actually, you're not really going to know till Saturday night at 7:30 in terms of what's actually the objective here. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, the objective is to win, but is it like, do you know what I mean? Like, I do feel at times with Arsenal that they're better when they play on the edge. So the reason I say this is, right, because actually when we go down to like 2 points and Man City are sniffing around us every time, I feel at that point they know that they're playing on the edge, and it's literally must not lose. They can't lose. And I feel that's when I actually do feel at times that's when the performances are better from this team, not from teams gone past, but this team. I feel our biggest problem is, and it is complacency. It is complacency. We get to like 6-7 points, and I feel we get complacent. And they just got to take their what they did yesterday on board and take that into the rest of the season. Because I honestly think if they do take that on board and do what they did yesterday, right, and just forget what the game is, I'm just going to go out there and we're just going to go and annihilate you. We're not thinking of the title. We're thinking we're just going to annihilate you. And that performance is a performance. I've been sitting there scratching my head thinking, why have we not done this all season?
Yeah, it was. I would be completely lying if I didn't have the game in mind yesterday in terms of that we'll have played one more than and all this. I did have that narrative kind of going around in my head anyway. So I can't completely say that I was, but I think it's based on after the game now. I've just thought, right, we've just got to make sure that they haven't got any chance, because I think that's what we've given them over this last couple of weeks, is that little bit of a chance. And I think that's the dangerous thing, is we've been kind of dangling that and going, oh, you've got a chance now. We are going to drop some points. And it's just putting that back in and saying, absolutely not.
Yeah.
We're not dropping a single point from now.
It was very important that we scored that fourth goal yesterday, by the way. There's
Yeah.
an extra goal into the goal
The goal
difference.
difference.
Like it's a healthy +4 ahead of them, which could be important. Hopefully it won't be, but it just means that they've just got to keep, it just puts a bit more pressure on Man City,
Well, this is
really.
what I'm saying, John, and this is my frustration, mate. That actually, when you look at, all right, let's take the Wolves and Brentford game out of it, but you look at the other 3 games. We've battered Leeds by 4 goals. We've battered Sunderland by 3. We've battered Spurs by 3+ goals. Like, I don't see Man City doing this to teams. Do you know what I mean? I don't see Man City beating teams like this. So, actually, when you start looking at everyone going, oh, well, Arsenal haven't got the attacking players, or actually, they've got more attacking players than anyone else, because when they do turn up, they do put performances in. And look, I think, as I said to you, like, I think this Chelsea game is so important, because obviously it is a grudge game, mate. They'll love nothing more. We just knocked them out of the League Cup a few weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? So they're going to be up for this year, right? Look, I think Fofana being sent off is a big plus for us, if I'm being totally honest. And I think their defence will be totally there to be got out on next Sunday. And we know Saka loves to play against Gyökeres, so that would be a really good battle. But I just think that we should have enough to overcome them. But it's the kind of game that actually go and beat Spurs, go and beat Chelsea. That's putting out a big statement for me. If you go and beat Chelsea comfortably, actually what you've gone and said is, look, we'll go to our biggest rivals and beat and smash them out the woodwork on their pitch. We've gone to probably our most competitive rivals in London for the last 20 odd years, and we put them to the sword, not just in the Carabao Cup, whatever you want to call it, but we've done it in the Premier League as well. And then I look at the fixtures after that. Okay, let's get over the tricky one, Brighton, which is a night game. But you get over that line and you start looking at the fixtures. And actually, if I'm being totally honest with you, I think it's something like 5 home games and 3 away games. And
only got 2 away games outside the London, Man City and Brighton.
Yeah, so actually, you got 1 game out of London after March the 4th. So you're only going away once, which is to Man City. But you then look at it, you think, well, do you know what? Like this is the period. This is the period that we've got ourselves to this point. We've got the home advantage. Do you know what I mean? Like yet again, with that many home games, you're thinking to yourself, do you know what I mean? This is a good chance to put some really impressive performances, maybe score quite a lot of goals. So like you said, goal difference could be an important thing at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? That's going to be another key thing. But I just don't... It's weird with this Man City team. Like, Haaland just totally stopped scoring. Like, he's just not scoring whatsoever. And I just look at them and I think they're going to come a cropper in some away games. And when you start looking at their away games, they've got to go away to Everton. They've got to go away to Bournemouth. They've got to go away to Chelsea. Like,
go away to Leeds.
They've got to go away to Leeds. They should go to Burnley and win, but you know what? Burnley are putting some performances lately, so you like to think that actually it might be.
Well, they're scrapping. They're scrapping.
You would have thought Chelsea would have beat them at home, wouldn't you?
I also think
they've got to go away to Chelsea. Sorry, they've got to go away to Chelsea as well.
Yeah, I think if you switch Chelsea into Newcastle's position at the weekend, they've lost that game, haven't they? So, because I just think that they were really fortunate that Newcastle could have been there all night, and they wouldn't have scored. And I don't know what it was.
They were very twitchy at the end. City.
Yeah,
they were very
hanging on. Like
that second half, they got absolutely played off the park. The whole second half,
they did.
Yeah.
But it was just that Newcastle couldn't score and wouldn't have scored if they'd have been there for 2 extra 90 minutes. Like, so if you switched any other team, like I'd even put Man United into that conversation. If you'd have put Man United or Chelsea into that, they would have lost that game at the weekend. So I think we've got to take.
How are they getting on tonight? United.
Last time I checked.
Is it? No.
And they dropped Sesko, don't they?
I think we've got to take that a bit of motivation as well, in that they're not the team that they have been over the last couple of years. So in those games, as long as we do what we need to do and win our games, we could get a good result our way. And then it's that close that it tips back in our hands if there's one result that goes our way.
I think that Leeds game is interesting because they're not afraid to score goals. Leeds, like they were 2-0 down to Chelsea, drew 2-2. They were
It'd be a tough game.
You know what I mean? So
they will
score.
As much as we played better than them, we were lucky that it was a 3 o'clock Saturday kickoff, and it kind of got forgotten about. It's just a normal game. No one really put any pressure, TV game, lunchtime or evening. Oh, big upset. This is why the cameras are there. This is why we were slightly unlucky with the Brentford game. Because you see what they're like home at Brighton, lost 2-0.
Yeah.
If that had been a normal game, I think we would have beaten them comfortably. But, it is what it is. But Leeds will be up for it. They had Liverpool, didn't they, at home? They were 2-0 down and come back to all. Their fans, but what? They love a big game. It's...
I do want to put a big shout out for a player that no one's mentioned yesterday that I thought done a really... Go on.
I think I know, but go on. I won't spoil the surprise.
Come on.
Christian Mascara.
Absolutely. I thought
a player.
to a man when he come on, mate. Like, I was sitting there thinking who's going to come on for Timber, not thinking that Mascara could come on at right back.
Yeah, because when he said he was coming on, I just presumed Cerebro Gabriel was
Yeah, no, but you could tell Timber's literally worked into the ground at the moment, couldn't you? But he come on right, and I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be adverse to seeing him play out there again after that performance. I thought he did absolutely everything spot on in that 30 minutes that he come on. And he's shown again, isn't he, like what a player that this guy is going to become. Like this guy, like I don't know how we picked him up for 13 million, if I'm being honest, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Whoever decided that is an absolute genius.
Yeah. It's
For that price to,
What a play. It's an absolute beast for someone so tall to play fullback. He just go up and down, skin right stuck in as well, right up the top of the pitch.
Yeah. I think
brilliant. Absolutely sensational.
The Raya moment as well, like that's even though we battered him, that is a completely different game if that goes in. Towards the end of the game, I think it was 83 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
It was horrible, behind the goal that cracked me up. They were just like, I couldn't believe what they're saying, could they?
I also want to put shame on the Tottenham fans as well. I don't know if you all saw it when they were having a go at Declan Rice.
It's pathetic.
How low can you sink when
it's sad. You've got nothing better to do.
Yeah. It's like when things aren't going your way, you just sink into new lows. And I saw it and I just thought, how embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's like grown men.
When they threw the flare into our penalty box, that was the closest they got.
I reckon there was some bust up with the stewards at the end because they wouldn't let Thomas Frank out in his blow up form. They wanted him back.
I will say though, like the Raya save towards the how he done that.
Yeah.
I thought he looked like me trying to field in cricket at one stage. It's just like another.
United
I know he was a bit up. Sesko, they must have just bought him on.
That's you, George. Give him the kiss.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about United anyway. But yeah, I think like obviously Raya he had a bit of criticism, didn't he, in the week? So I think that save, it was like that save was quite good it was an amazing save.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I can't stand Richarlison, fucking pigeon anyway.
Oh, he's such a cock. It really
know what
is.
you do to pigeons, you know what I mean? So,
it's funny though, he scored that wonderful goal and it didn't matter because we won 4-1 in the home game, but no one ever talked.
He's got to hold the record though, isn't he, for scoring the most goals that are offside, like in one game. Do you remember that game when he scored nearly an hat-trick and it was offside?
Yeah. Well, it's okay, but he scores goals that just don't mean anything, was it? At Anfield, he equalised near the end, and he's running around taking his clothes off, celebrating. Then they went up the other end and scored.
I've also not seen this bad of a Tottenham team, to be honest, in a long time.
I think they're quite good. I think they're quite a good side, actually.
I was so glad we gave him a good humping. Yeah. I was hoping we could have scored.
I thought Romero played well.
It's complete disarray, isn't it? It's complete.
It was just,
and their bench was.
I mean, that manager just looks bewildered. I mean, how much they're paying this Tudor, mate? Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful for us, but they must be seriously worried.
We should have applied for that. We should apply for that job. That's a nice payout, isn't it? Like there a few weeks, get sacked, 3 million. Now they've been.
They've just got nothing. I know they've got injuries, and I mean, we've all had injuries. It's tough shit.
Yeah.
You just go for the players. Mickey van der Ven, he can run fast. Fucking shit. Xavi Simons, £60 million flop no one's talking about. Terrible. Solanke this side. Crap. Mafis Tell, whatever it's called, come on, crap. They're just, they're just
Even with their injuries,
Polinia, and then they have to play him as centre half. I mean, we just ripped him apart. But they've just got nothing. Even the young players coming through, they haven't got anything.
When you think of the recruitment that Spurs, I was thinking about this, like the recruitment Spurs have done, like they've wasted so much money, like on several occasions. So when they sold Gareth Bale all them years ago, they spent
just so
crap, didn't they? But
then
even when they sold Kane.
Well, that was the thing, though, weren't it? Like you got to remember, like they've had some world class players at that club. They've had Harry Kane. Even how much we hate Son, he was unbelievable for them. Luka Modric, do you know what I mean? Like they've had some really, really top class players. But Christian Eriksen was unbelievable for them as well. But like they've obviously lost these players, and that Harry Kane, they replaced him with Solanke, and you're scratching your head. This is no disrespect to Solanke whatsoever, but
he's not.
You had the best. You had the best striker in the world, one of the best strikers in the world football, in Harry Kane, and you've totally gone from like eating with the big boys, didn't you, to going to eating in McDonald's. If you're being totally honest, Shub, because like you look at the players that they're getting in, and you're just like they're nowhere near the level. They're nowhere near the level, and you're looking at them, you're thinking, Jesus, Son was in that position. Jesus, Kane was in that position. Like, I don't even really rate the goalkeeper. Like, they're all raved about him straight away.
Oh, it's awful.
But he gets it beaten very easily, time after time.
He's still crying.
He's always wandering around, caught out on the pitch. He just he can't kick the ball for nothing.
He's still crying from when Ben White put him on his arse the other year.
But it's when all the injuries come back though as well. I still don't think they're any better, even when all their injuries come back.
They're awful. Romero.
I think there's only one. I think there's only one player there that's injured at the minute. I think he's still injured. That makes them a lot better, and that's Kulusevski.
And Kudus has been quite good for them.
There may be them two, but Romero's a liability.
That bench yesterday was just woeful. It shouldn't happen to any Premier League club. Like I think there was Solanke, Tell, and one more, and Richarlison on the bench, and then the rest of the bench were kids, like unknown.
Mind you, that happened to us last year. Though. I mean, our kids obviously decent, but
I think that's the difference. Though our kids actually can play football. Theirs clearly can't because they never get on the pitch.
I tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Arteta back in 2021 where he had the lights of Murray Hutchinson and all that on the bench. Like, he had no intention ever to play him. But Murray Hutchinson didn't come up once.
He's John Jules.
But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, we was having all them on the bench. But you knew that he weren't going to bring any of them on. And I think that's exactly where they are at the moment. But like, you look at that team and you think, I don't, do you know what? I don't think they will get relegated personally. They just weasel their way out of it every time.
I think they'll be all right. I think their fixtures are quite kind.
I think
they have got Fulham away.
They've got Forest at home in a few weeks as well. That's going to be the one. If they lose that, if they lose to
Fulham and Forest and West Ham.
West Ham have got Man City. West Ham have got Man City at home, and they've got us at home.
But if they beat Man City and then that win because they're already safe, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
I think they're just lucky, aren't they? They're lucky that they're in a league where there isn't the three teams at the bottom as well. Do you know what I mean? I think they're lucky. They're lucky that one's already down in Wolves, so that counts one out.
One's pretty much going, has been burned.
So the other one's pretty much going. So is that kind of last spot? Whereas if there was three at the bottom that were all still fighting, I would then be seriously like,
they were so lucky last year. And Man United, to be fair, the three teams are so poor.
I think the problem is West Ham are not picking up the wins. They're picking up the draws when they should be winning.
No, they need to win Saturday night, really, at Bournemouth.
Yeah, they're not picking up the wins.
Who they got this weekend?
Oh, they've got, is it Villa? Is it Villa away? Someone like that.
Villa on the down.
I think it's Villa.
Villa on the slide down. So if West Ham got a win there, Tottenham lose to...
Is it Villa?
I don't know. They got.
I might be completely wrong.
I can't even see it.
As you can tell, I just desperately want Spurs to get relegated.
They're playing Monday or something.
They got Liverpool away.
Oh, have they? Oh, okay.
But wouldn't that be fun if West Ham went on 1 and then Tottenham lost to Fulham?
It'd be nice. Imagine Liverpool scraped through against Forest, isn't it?
You never know, do you? You never know. Like,
imagine their multi-purpose stadium in the Championship. That's what everybody keeps saying, multi-purpose, and I'm like, I'm not being funny. I've been once. It's terrible, but
yeah,
it's that they call it that on TalkSport, they were going, "Oh, it's an amazing multi-purpose stadium," and I was like, I'd be embarrassed if somebody called the Emirates a multi-purpose stadium or any football club stadium. That I'd actually be embarrassed. So I think that says all that we need to know. It's a
We're having
terrible.
a Beyonce in the championship. So,
It was awful.
They are playing better. There's no doubt about they're playing better whatsoever. Like they couldn't play any worse. I just don't think they're getting the wins that they need to get. It'd be interesting. Let's have a quick look at West Ham's remaining fixtures because I think
it's only 4 points, isn't it, between them and Spurs?
And they're like the two big games against the two top teams are both at West Ham. So they've got Liverpool away, Fulham, West Ham. God, that's 2 away games in a row. Then West Ham, Man City. Oh, man, I don't fancy their chances. West Ham, Man City.
No, I don't.
Then Aston Villa, West Ham.
Oof.
West Ham, Wolves.
That's 4 tough games.
They should
West
beat
Ham,
Wolves.
Wolves.
What they need
I
to
said they should
West
beat
Ham.
Wolves, but they got battered 3-0.
Palace are a funny team.
Yeah, they are because they've got nothing to play for now, have they? So they were a really funny team.
There's so much unrest there as well, the manager. And that.
If they beat Man City, that's fine.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Wouldn't it? I'll just draw with them, I do. Just take a
Brentford
draw. I'll be
away.
happy with it.
Newcastle away.
Oh,
I tell you, they've got a
It's
tricky
a
running,
hard
mate.
one.
You've got a tricky running, but they have got West Ham Leeds last game of the season. If Leeds was set up, you'd fancy them there.
Yeah, Leeds.
This is when we're saying all of this, and Burnley just say, yeah, just don't
They're
worry
going to have to
about
win
it.
their own games. They're going to have to win. They're going to have to win their own games and or get at least win for 3 or 4 of their own games, I think. So I think they can beat Leeds. I think they can beat Everton. I think they can beat Wolves.
I think they could probably beat Fulham because they're really hit and miss Fulham.
They are, yeah.
Fulham away, that's the kind of away game that we need to win. And I think Crystal Palace, mate. I think they could go to Palace and win. I don't see them beating
Fulham have got Spurs this weekend as well. So that could be the swing. I love it how we're seriously considering that Spurs go down now. I think this is brilliant.
Oh, honestly,
Honestly, who would go there then? Like as a manager?
Oh, they'd be screwed. Absolutely screwed. Scott Parker when he's get set by Burnley.
Ryan Mason is his assistant.
Harry Redknapp.
They would have done better getting Harry Redknapp in now instead of getting a manager in with a surname last time they won the league.
He was sniffing it as well, weren't he? I read that.
Yeah.
He was going about it the other day. He was at horse racing.
Him and Sherwood.
They asked him about it.
Mate,
and he looked generally gutted that he hadn't been offered the job.
Oh, also, did you witness, I hate to mention Gary Neville's name again, when Gyökeres scored, he said, "Don't over-celebrate."
Such a cock.
And I said to my friend that I was watching it with, I said, "Go and find a video for me now of Gary Neville celebrating against Man City when he played, and tell me if he over-celebrated or not."
Did he kick Van into the stand or something?
In the world.
These rules only apply to Arsenal. They don't apply to no one else. When Man City were beating Newcastle, did you see the celebration with Guardiola and Haaland? Oh, yeah, great. You know, that's us. We get told to get in. No, you can't say that. And then at the end of the game, he's going, I think Arsenal will beat Man City up there. So shut up, honestly. Just go away.
You are going to celebrate like against your bitter rivals, like anybody.
Oh, exactly.
And it's that I've heard it today as well, and like, can't believe they've celebrated. And I'm like, you've just won a derby. You're going to celebrate till the cows come out. And if
even
else did it, there wouldn't be any mention of this. It's just because it's us. Like we can't like celebrate anything apparently, but it's just it's ridiculous. You are going to go mental if you just won a game like that.
Sorry, I'm just having a look at them. I think it's interesting. I do think it's. I don't think they'll go down. I'm sorry, I don't think they'll go down. I think they'll have enough legs in the tank to just kind of sneak their way out of it. I think West Ham go down personally. Yep, just get down the tunnel. I'm surprised that one didn't come out as well. But look, I think.
To be fair though, Jamie Carragher did say that he was like, and I nearly dropped the phone when I read it. Said that he was wrong about Gyökeres. So.
Mate, he's got to admit he's right, mate.
They all got to start backtracking now, isn't
they? Well, I was listening to is it the overlap or the stick to football thing that Neville and that lot do?
Yeah, they do the overlap.
Yeah, but Ian Wright was like, he's called Neville out the other day when they had Postecoglou on there, and he was like, "But you don't like Arsenal anyway, so why'd you commentate on their games?" and then he just massively backtracked like Neville. He just didn't like.
Mm.
He was no like stuttering and muttering like he always does. Like, and then so yeah, it's I don't know. I just think he's a prat.
But then he bizarrely always backs us to win the league. Oh yeah, but I bet.
But I think he does
backed
that
us
for
to
the
win the league,
reaction,
yeah.
mate. Like I think he does that.
Oh, of course he does.
Because then he thinks he can laugh at us. Like
He'll be devastated if we win it this year.
He's got
Kieran
a
was
point.
putting in-
Old Super City there, mate. Only thing bloody Spurs is good at is being a bogey side to my club. They'll probably be glad to get them relegated.
yeah,
I just don't get it as well. I don't get how they're
Sport as
bogey
well.
teams. It's just
Just
one
when
of the
City-
weird things in football, isn't it? It's
Mm.
like
when
we-
City. Yeah, it's just when they
It's
get their
a
100
street
thing. Yeah, it's when they get their charges and you look at the sentence and it has Tottenham's name on it because Guardiola's wrote Spurs on it instead of City.
It's gonna. Right, so score predictions for Sunday's game. I reckon I'm going to go first for this one. Don't think it's going to be easy whatsoever. I'm going to go 3-1. I am tempted to go 2-1.
He's nicked my He's nicked my answer.
I am tempted to go 2-1. You next, George.
I was going to go
George.
3-1. Yeah, I just think, but I know I might be wrong, but I know they've got the defender banned and there's Pedro banned as well, isn't he?
No, he's
No, that was it. Liam was spreading false lies.
No, I was listening to some big account, mate, unfortunately.
Oh,
Should have done my investigating first. Geese didn't know what he was talking about, basically.
all right, cool. All right, we'll ignore that then. It'll still be 3-1, but obviously, yeah, I think, like you said, Liam, they have to come out. It's another test. I think we're at home, the crowd behind us. I was quite happy actually because I got tickets for it earlier. So,
sick.
so
No, quality, well
yeah,
done.
it's the first time that I've been on the disability ticket exchange, and they've emailed to say, "Oh yeah, there's tickets." So,
Oh, brilliant.
so someone's either fell down some stairs or ill, so not my problem.
George pushed them.
I didn't see nothing, officer.
Poor son.
So yeah, I'm going 3-1. I think Saka will score 2 on Sunday.
I would love that.
Yeah, he needs to score. He needs a goal.
Yeah,
Well, I know he
been a
scored the other
while.
day, but I think if he can get a couple of games with a couple of goals, I think you see the real.
You know, like
Saka.
the Saka we saw when was it the Liverpool game at home? Was it him and Martinelli?
Yeah,
Like that
that's
sort
what
of
we
thing.
need.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely need Saka back, mate, scoring goals. Sam?
It's either 2-1 or 3-1. I'm going to go 2-1 because everybody else has gone 3-1. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those games that's not going to be nice to watch.
No, I think you're right.
But hopefully, fingers crossed, with George there for sure. That's what will get us over the line.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for scoring wise. Lauren's asked who's scoring. Gyökeres will score again, I reckon. I think George, good one about Saka. Maybe we might score a set piece as well. One of the defenders. Maybe a.
Gabriel's
goal, mate. Could have got one yesterday, couldn't he? Saliba needs a goal.
Yeah, he should have scored. To be
Give
fair.
Saliba-
We've worked out.
Mm.
Nkapie knows how to kick now.
Mate, but when we spoke about him,
He played really
Yeah,
well
he did.
again yesterday.
Yeah.
what a signing he's turned out to be, by the way.
Do you think he's more important than Calafiori?
I think they're both good, but I think Nkapie's got the position at the moment just because of his performance.
Yes, he has.
I think the difference is though. I think they do want. I think obviously if he's that happy here, he can kind of wangle his way to get the transfer fee less. But I think that's my only worry is that they want a hell of a lot for Nkapie still because he's on loan, isn't he? Everybody keeps saying to me
with an obligation to buy, so I presume they've already got
the
some
deal's
sort
been
of
agreed,
price.
mate. I
I think
stepped
they've
out,
only done it so it shows up on a different financial year.
right.
I don't think they could have concluded the deal this year with the money they spent.
No.
Yeah, because he kind of does his business without being seen, doesn't he? Like I think he certainly did yesterday. He kind of does exactly what he needs to do without being the center of the show. And I think he was probably missed a lot yesterday, but he had a really good game.
What are you going for, John?
You know me, 5-1
I love
Arsenal.
it. Booked in. I've missed that.
Why
I've
not?
missed it.
I think we're full of confidence. Still come. I mean, the way results are going in the top four, Chelsea do need to come and have a go.
Yeah.
They can't afford to sit back like they did in the
Yeah.
League Cup.
Especially,
Especially after drawing points at home at
especially
Burnley.
United winning as well now.
He'll get a lot of fans moaning if they lose as well to us because they've got to be careful.
I did hear Andy.
Like I said, with Man United still
I
winning.
did hear Andy Jacobs on Talk Sports says that he thinks he should go already.
Ah, Jesus. I think we're full of confidence. I think that result really, you could just see the confidence in the players. You know,
I think the
that's in a
break's
reason why we can't give them a
important,
good hiding.
I think the week break.
Yeah.
They're not, they haven't had a
Like I
break.
said, them for once they can actually get a couple of days off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
So important. Obviously, I know that can happen for a lot of clubs, but with our schedule that's been and coming up again, just let them have a bit of recharge time, and then crack on again.
When's the Champions League games? Are they like March sort of time?
17th, 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got the second leg this week,
Oh, okay.
and then the draw will be Friday, I presume.
I think
You got Mansfield in a
and
few
then
weeks as
we've
well.
yeah, I was going to say we're
Yeah.
lucky as well. The game after Chelsea is Mansfield, so like we've got another kind of
Easy-ish.
another kind of right. We can rest quite a few now here, so we can give you a little bit of a.
Let's hope so.
We can give you a little bit of a rest, like your Sakas and stuff like that. So I think we're quite lucky now in that we've got this week. I know we've got Chelsea, but then after that we can kind of take the break off a little bit again, knowing that we've got Mansfield.
Whereas Man City can't because they got Newcastle away. So
It's quite interesting. After that League Cup final, it's an international week, isn't it? So I'll tell you another thing, right? Whoever don't win that League Cup final, that's a long 2 weeks after.
I think we've got to it. I think that's as important as us winning all the games, to be honest.
I think, I agree. I think if we win that, I think on we go. If we don't, the amount of abuse we will get for losing a cup final will be disgraceful. But they'll all be out to get us. Man City lose, no one will say nothing. We lose, it'll be a complete free fall. Arsenal bottled it, blah blah blah.
I do think
all the pressure will be on us.
I think that's going to have a big say in who goes on to win the league.
I still think whoever wins that cup final wins the league.
Yeah, I do think that, George. I don't want to say it because it's.
I don't agree.
It's a shootout, isn't it?
I think we might be alright in the league, even
I think it's nice.
I can see where you're coming from.
I think it's nice, but I don't really agree, if I'm being totally honest, Sean. And I'll tell you why I don't agree, because I think, actually, if we didn't win the League Cup, it could actually motivate us even more as such to make wrongs right. But at the same time, I
go the other way, though, because that group of players have not won a trophy, really.
No, I think there's too many. I think there's too many motivated players in this team. I think you see that yesterday. I think what you see yesterday is that I actually fancy this team, like University, to come bounce back. I think they've done it so many times now. But like you said, this is a big moment. If they lose the League Cup final, it's a blow. It's definitely a blow, but it's not the end of the world, is it? Like, it's not the end of the world because actually, like, it's not the end of the season. So you're not ending your season on that note. If you lost the Champions League final, or you lost the last game of the season, or you lost the FA Cup final, that's potentially the last game of the season, isn't it? I just think that there's enough bounce back. I'm confident that we'll win the League Cup final. Anyway.
I am as well.
I think them not having Mark Guay in that final is a big plus for us. And
I more think that if we don't win the final, I think going into that Man City game, they'd be massive favourites going into that.
Yeah, but like they might. We don't know where the points are going to be at that game.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? There's still 3 or 4 games before that, so we could be 5-6 points ahead of them at that game. And okay, they might go and win that game if that was the case, and we'll still be ahead of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting game because it's like what I was saying in terms of this weekend. We don't know what we're going for in terms of points-wise until after Leeds play Man City. And it's exactly the same that actually we can talk about this League Cup final and the Man City game, but we ain't going to know until March the 15th, actually, how many points ahead are we with Man City going into the League Cup final. as I said, I'm quite confident. I think we're going to go and win the League Cup. I think that I think it's a trophy, mate, that we haven't won for a long time, yeah, right? And I think, do you know what? I just think Lord of percentages and all that kind of stuff. And what I see yesterday, if we come out and play the way we did yesterday, Man City are not going to like that. But you've got to go out and do it. Do you know what I mean? You've got to go out and just be fearless, like you did yesterday. Like, for me, they went into that stadium yesterday and they were fearless. They didn't bow down to like, oh shit, we're going into Tottenham's ground. Do you know what I mean? We've just come off out of a bad defeat. Like, they could have easily done that and felt sorry for themselves. But you know what? They've done totally the fucking opposite. They went in there from kickoff. You see it straight away. Like, literally everyone's going forward. And I just think if we play that way against Man City, we've got an incredible chance of winning them. You see them at the Emirates. They didn't want to come out their own half.
No.
They didn't want to come out their own half. I just don't think they're the same team as what they used to be. And I just think that actually it's 50-50 final. It's 50-50. But I think we're slight favourites for it.
I think us as fans have played a big part in the weekend as well, because I'm really pleased with, as much as I kind of slate our fan base sometimes, I'm really pleased that how we have actually all stuck together in that week, because we could have started bickering between each other. But I think everybody understood that, right, that's what they want us to do. They want us to all start falling out now. But we've realised that the team playing well is important, but we've got to fully be in this with them. Like we can't go, oh God, we've drew 2-2 to Wolves. So I think it's a little bit like you said, when we don't want any regrets. We don't also want any regrets that we haven't given everything we possibly can to help the team. That's also what I don't want. I don't want to come to the end of the season, whatever happens, because you don't have a clue, and think, shit, as a fan base, could we have done more? Like, that's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I think with Man City and Arsenal? Do you know where I think at this moment of time, I think, personally, I think Donnarumma's slightly better goal. I think Donnarumma's outrageously good, mate. I think he's probably just an ounce better than Ray, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah? And I think the left wing position, Semenion. But I look around the rest of the pitch, mate, and I'm like, do I think our right back's better than him? Yeah. Do I think our centre backs are better? Yeah. Do I think our left back's better? Well, if Gavardia was not playing, yeah. And then I'll go to the centre midfielders. Rodri, good player, but it's not the same Rodri 2-3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? He's had injuries. I look at our midfield, and if we had Subamendi, Rice, and Kai Havertz fit, who do I think's got a stronger midfield? I think we have. I think the right winger. I think we got a better right winger. Left winger. I think they got the better left winger out of us than them at this moment of time. And then you look up front, look, Haaland's Haaland. So you have to say he is the better striker. But at the moment, he isn't scoring goals, and Gyökeres is. So I'm probably looking at them. I'd give them 2 or 3 players. I just look at us and I think we're so much overall a stronger team. The problem is it's the mentality. It's not about the team. It's about the mentality of getting over the line. And I can see why you guys are so desperate. I'm desperate to win the League Cup. I said at the start of the season, we had to go and win that cup. And we do have to go and win that cup.
I just think it's a good marker.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a marker.
I'm not saying that if we lose that, we definitely lose the title. But if you had asked me it's the title or the League Cup, then it's not a question, is it? But I just think it sets a marker, because then people can stop saying that, because they don't really class Arteta winning the FA Cup as a trophy, do they? Some people. So
no one's going to class us in winning this trophy, though, as the be or end all. We're not even going to make. We're going to say, we're going to be buzzing with it.
I just think it's a good start.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, right. Do you know what it is? And I don't want to degrade the League Cup, right? But like, when we beat Man City in the Charity Shield, it was a great day, right? Just because obviously we'd gone to Wembley and we'd beat them, and it was just a fun day. Do you know what I mean? But I think this is just this would be a really nice, fun, great day if we went and won the League Cup. But at the end of the day, the League Cup will go in the trophy cabinet, and it's like actually heads back down. There ain't no time to celebrate this. It is the League Cup. It's good that we won it, but at the end of the day, we've got bigger fish to fry now. We've got Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Like we're hearing, like I can't believe the amount of teams that saying we're the best team in the world. Like, yeah, we've done really well in the Champions League this year. Do I think we're the best team in the world? Not until I see my club's hands on that Champions League trophy. Am I ever saying that we're the best team in the world? Do I think we're the best team in the world? No, I don't. As it goes at the moment, I don't think we're the best team in the world because I don't think we've backed it up to be the best team in the world. You only back it up when you get to Champions League finals and come home with a trophy. So they've got that hurdle to get over, and they've got that to concentrate on. They've got the Premier League, which for me is the bread and butter. It's bread and butter. Like for me, choking in the Premier League this year is going to be unbearable. It'll be unbearable.
Yeah,
it'll be unbearable. And the FA Cup actually is a nice distraction, like you said, Sam. And I'll tell you what, right? There is a good chance that you could pick up a half-decent semi-quarter-final fixture when you look at all the fixtures. So, look, we should comfortably beat Mansfield. Right? It's not me disrespecting them. It's just the way it is. We're ours, Mansfield. But you look at a sixth round, you think, do you know, if you can get a home draw and you can draw someone not too challenging, do you know what I mean? Like you probably want to avoid Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City at that point. But if you avoid them three, and you get a decent draw, you're looking at another Wembley semi-final potentially.
It's as well. I think it's that confidence of, like you said, of winning that trophy in the League Cup. But it's going to be very much like, right, we can enjoy it for that day if we do go and win it. But then afterwards, in my head, that'll be gone, and that sounds really bad because if that does happen, but it does need to be like that. It's very much we can't get dragged into the fairy tale that we finally won something and all that sort of stuff.
It's just a start, isn't it? Like, that's more the way I would look at it. You win it, that's 1 out of the 4. Like, if you want to be the best team in the world, you need to be looking at quadruple stuff. I'm not saying we win the quadruple, but I'm saying, that's where we want to be as Arsenal Football Club.
When have we ever sat here, like none of us are talking about it. I know none of us are talking about the quadruple, but when have we ever sat here, right, at the end of February, coming off a 4-1 win, 5 points clear? Okay, the Man City got a game out, but when have we sat here and thought, shit, we've actually got a really good chance in all 4 competitions at the moment? Like, as I said to you, like we're probably going to get to a quarter-final of FA Cup, and then at that point, like, we should be, like, hopefully, as I said, like that could be another league, that could be another Wembley appearance, semi-final in the FA Cup, and you're like, we haven't been hitting these heights for how many years, and then this year with the squad put together, this is a total new situation for us, and it is literally a new situation for Arteta because actually his cup record is quite miserable, if we're being totally honest, in English tournaments, but he's having to rotate the team as well, isn't he? So, and I think the FA Cup draws have been quite kind to us. And I think actually if they continue to be kind to us, because look, I know me and you were talking about, Sam, the year that Arsenal played with Lincoln, they played Sutton in the same round. That was 5th round and 6th round, weren't it?
Yeah.
And like we got such nice draws, but we still won the FA Cup at the end of it all. No one ever remembers, right? Actually, they played Lincoln and Sutton in them 2 rounds. But do you know what I mean? You get 2 nice draws now. You're in the semi-final, and by that point, no one's going to want to play Arsenal because we could have won the Carabao Cup at that time. We could be in the quarter-final, semi-final, and then we're top of the league. Like the last team anyone's going to want to play is us. So there's such a good opportunity this year to do something special, and I just think that to get Man City game, I think it does do a lot of confidence to us when we win that game. I think it's more of a confidence thing. I don't think it means we're going to win the league or whatsoever, but I just think it means, do you know what I mean? Like, we've beaten them. But I just want to put it to you guys as well that actually we haven't lost to Manchester City since Rob Holding scored against them in the 4-1 defeat. We haven't lost to them since then.
That's bad.
Like, our record against Man City is very, very good. Like we rightly should be favourites going into that final, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think we should, and it's quite interesting because I've kind of the last couple of weeks gone over and looked at different like countries' publications about us, and it's only in this league that we're getting disrespected. In all the other leagues, of players and teams and fans, they're all going mad about the football that we're playing. It's only in this in our league that people are going, oh, the football's boring. Everybody else, all the players from worldwide, they're asking them, where would you want to go currently on the style of football? They're all saying Arsenal. Like, so that's got to say something, hasn't it? Because players haven't said that for a long time either. They haven't said they've been, oh, well, it'd be Man City, or like they haven't said. And every single time I've watched quite a few now, and they've all just said straight away Arsenal. And they've asked them why, and they've just gone, the football they're playing, I think I'd fit really well into it. And that's kind of the same answer for lots of players. So I think that says a lot, because it hasn't been like that for a very long time.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. Can you imagine with us with a quality left winger?
Oh yeah.
I actually think like, we're kind of handicapped still in some ways. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think if we say we got Rafael Leao or someone like that, someone who's explosive, do you know what I mean? I think that actually takes this team to a world-class bracket. And this is my only worry, that do we have enough in that position to get us more the Champions League? I'm being totally honest, is in my opinion. Do we have? But only time will tell. Do you know what I mean? But I do think once we get that left wing position buttoned down, I think we'll be an even bigger animal.
Yeah, I think it's left wing and a striker that can support Gyökeres as well. Because JJ is okay as a squad player, but if you look at sort of Man City's title winning sides over the last, they've always had Alvarez people that I'm thinking about, but they've always had that kind of two strikers. When one isn't scoring, they've had the other one that comes in and scores. So I think that's the two things that we're missing, that kind of backup to Gyökeres when he's not playing so well and you can slot in and just score goals, and then that left wing. And then we've got, if everyone's fit, one of the best teams in the world. Apart from winning stuff, of course.
Yeah, so it's good. Like you say, it is quite interesting still. And I still think they want to get another left centre midfielder in. Like we see that Tonali. Definitely a player that I'd be sniffing. I liked him all along. Like if you're looking at a player to kind
there must be something in there. It's such a random come out of nowhere. There must be something in there.
That's what they do every time, though, don't they, mate, in January? Like they do it every time, last couple of days of the window. But I do agree with you. I think there's definitely something in that. And I think it's more of a statement. This is who we're going to go for in the summer, because let's be honest, right? I think Norgard maybe will just do the year. I think he could just do the year. He might do 2 years. I'm not averse to that, but I think if you got Tonali in as well, you look at Tonali.
Depends if he doesn't start betting on himself again, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but he might not need to, might he?
Either him or Adam Wharton, I reckon.
No, I don't know. I don't want Adam Wharton. Don't rate him at all.
I think he's quite good.
No.
He's playing in a Palace team that's not very good.
I know Palace rave about him.
I'm not really sure he's the player that we need, though. I do like him, George.
No, I don't.
I think he could replace
Man United.
I think he could replace someone like Norgard.
I think we've kind of got to look a little bit higher than that, though. I know that's no disrespect to him. That's no disrespect to him at all, because I think he's a good player.
He's only an England international. But
we've got to...
But I think he's like, what is he, 21, 22? Like, why couldn't
he ain't old, mate. He's young.
Jed Spencer's an England international, by the way.
But surely that increases the level.
We've got to look. We've got to be looking for, even if he's going to be a backup player, you've still got to be looking for the best players, because we've got that everywhere else now. So you can't let it up. You can't just go, oh, well, we could just have one player here that kind of fits the gap. It's no, every single player. If we're going to keep going on like this, every single player has to be able to put a
shift. It'd be interesting to see what they do with Max Stallman as well next year.
I think
he'll be looking to play more.
And then obviously Wanyeri will be back as well. I reckon he'll go on loan for a season.
What a joke that was, sending him to Marseille, by the way. That's panned out. I know you don't know, but I'm sure they could have sent him somewhere else. I think that's...
I saw something so funny today. Did you see Sterling's first game in the league?
He's at final.
Yeah, he had to train in Belgium at one stage because he wasn't allowed to.
There's highlights.
What?
There's about 3 or 4 minutes in his first game, and he's missing the ball, and somebody said, "Oh, you got to bring Edu back in and sack him again for bringing him in." And it's just if you come across it, it was so funny because
he had to train in Belgium because when they signed him, something to do with a work permit or a visa. He wasn't allowed,
Oh,
but he
right.
was allowed to train in Belgium. So Van Persie, 'cause I think Van
Wow.
Persie's the manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
He took their whole team to Belgium so Sterling could train.
I'm going to see if I
Wow.
can find it again because
Mad.
it just gave me a little giggle because it's just like dreadful, even worse than what we saw in the limited space of time. It was just, and if I was that bad and coming out that bad on Twitter and all the highlights and stuff, I think I'd just say I think it's time for me to give
The
up.
reason I don't think we'll sign Tonali is because
Yeah.
Newcastle said they'd never sell to us. That's the only reason. But
Money
I'm
talks.
not paying over 100 million for Sandro Tonali.
Oh no, absolutely
No,
not.
I don't
not
think
for,
you
no
ain't
way.
paying 100 million for him anyway.
Mm.
I think
But-
50,
How many years he got left in his
70
contract?
million.
Couple, I think. I wouldn't pay 70, to be honest.
No,
I think it's class, mate. I'd pay that all day long for him.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I think it's all about having the strongest squad, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just make it stronger and stronger.
yeah, that's what we've got to do. I
Get the
think.
very best players. I think as well,
Absolutely.
again, I think what that would do is that would give Rice that little bit of a kick up the arse at times. Actually, like your position as well, you will be rotated. Do you know what I mean? And I think
player like that. I think
pun.
every player thinking, right, I've really got to give it everything else. I'm not
I
going to
think-
see the team next week. I think that's what we've got to start. Like, I think that's what we've got now. I think, like, if someone has a bad game, they're thinking, oh shit, am I going to be in next week? And it's that keeping that up. I think.
I do think they'll go for a left back in the summer, which is laughable.
No,
You know?
that wouldn't surprise me either.
Just because
Well, I don't know. I think
Fury
right back
and-
maybe more, mate. It might be right back more.
maybe if they look for someone who can play both, but I don't know. Like, obviously, we know how good Nkapie is, but I don't want to say it too loud. But Fury's injury problems remind me of another fullback we had.
Yeah, it's a little.
I just think with Newcastle, mate, it's all right them talking that up their 11th in the league.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're
no,
not
I
even
get that.
they're not even going to be in Europe next year.
No,
Mm.
no, I get it. I just, you know what some teams are like.
I don't think they're going to have the grounds to, mate. I just don't.
No.
Do you know the interesting thing? Newcastle, right? They come in, didn't they, with all that money and all that, but they've realised that they can't. Like, no one can just come in now and buy the league because obviously financial fair play and all that. So I think they've become a bit of a stickler about it, really, haven't they? And I'm surprised, really. I'm wondering if it's Eddie Howe's last season there.
It has to be, though, doesn't it?
You'd think so, mate. 11th in the league, mate.
I think he's very lucky to still be in a job. But I think what saved him that they're still in the Champions League. I think that's what saved him.
Only won a trophy. I think that's.
And
what
I don't
saved
rate
him
the forward
massively.
either.
No, he's not.
Well, Mardy, no, he's talks shit.
Bender's better than him.
Tell you a weird one. When we played Sunderland, I do really like that. Is it Brobby? His name is
Robbie.
and I really like him just because he like
something like that.
he just like makes it. He just made a complete nuisance for himself for the whole game, and it's like I don't think he offered. I don't think he can score many goals for you, but it was just I don't know. That was one of the ones that surprised me.
I know, like he's not near the level yet, so obviously I don't think we'd sign him yet. But Bellingham's brother, if you could get him, like, because I think he's for Dortmund, he's been playing really well, and he's only like 20, but in the next 2-3 years,
There you go, Liam. That's one for you.
Mate,
You've said this a few
I've
times.
been all over this, mate. I would have taken him all day long, mate. I think he'd be the perfect person to rotate with Declan Rice. Scott McTominay.
Yeah.
Fucking superb player, mate.
His contract's coming to an end as well.
Yeah, mate.
And Napoli is struggling as well this year.
Mate.
Anyone who leaves Man United play well, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do, mate.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I think he's bang on there as well, Beats, kind of about the kind of Xhaka replacement. I just think, mate, he's an absolute beast as well, isn't he? Like, he gets big goals as well. Can you imagine him from set pieces as well? He's just another player. Do you know what I mean? Like another unit.
Yeah.
Scores overhead kicks as well.
Mate,
And
I wouldn't be against it. I would not be against it.
No, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. But I think you need someone to rotate with Rice.
Yeah, definitely.
Because otherwise he'd just fall into the same trap as what we've done with other players.
I think it's quite tricky, though, isn't it? I think that's really tricky because there isn't another it's an odd one. You're in this kind of predicament, a little bit like a Haaland type player. You can't get somebody else that is anywhere near him, if that makes sense. It's like it's one of those things, and it's going to be what we need, but it's going to be really, really hard to find that.
Don't get Schwell Neves from PSG. There's your rotation. You probably have to spend about 300 million, but there's your rotation.
So they'll make it back on the ticket prices next year.
Yeah.
Catherine's saying, imagine facing a free kick, you got Scotty Boy and Rice standing over it.
Yeah, go on.
I did find that video and have put it in for your enjoyment afterwards. I found it back on
lovely,
Twitter, falling over and missing the ball. It's fantastic.
I'll watch that in a minute.
Right, I think that'll be it for tonight. Some good dialogue there, some good chat. Thank you very much, chaps.
No worries. Sorry, I was flagging a bit in the end. It's been a day.
I'm sensing my bed now, mate. I'm sensing my bed. It's just nice, mate. I'll be honest, it's nice not to think that there's no fixture this week. You can just have a bit of a break.
Yeah, you can just relax a little bit,
I still won't relax. I don't think that's possible right now.
Pardon?
I don't think that's possible. My anxiety is quite a lot, but
mate,
at the minute,
yesterday is the worst it's ever been.
Yes.
What's nice is I ain't got to worry about the women playing either. So I've actually got an absolute free week because it's the women international break. So I ain't got to worry until Sunday.
What's Nunes done? Darwin Nunes. What's he done wrong now?
I don't even know. Where
Saudi,
is he?
Isn't he?
Is he?
Oh no! Is he Saudi or Italy?
He's not someone I'll be looking at.
No,
absolutely not.
I'd rather get Calvert-Lewin than the Darwin Nunes.
Give me
I'd rather have anybody to be honest.
Madrid.
Uh-huh.
Right. Thank you very much, guys. Obviously, absolute pleasure sharing the old floor with you again. So thank you very much. Thank you for everyone in the chat for obviously all your dialogue, guys. It's been an absolute great show tonight. And absolute great weekend overall. We are alive again. We are kicking. And should I say it? The country still alive? Let's just worry about the Premier League.
Yeah.
Have a good evening, all.
No.